Hello there. Hello. How you guys doing? Hello there. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. First of all, before any speech I ever make, I always give glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he said if you don't acknowledge him, he's not going to acknowledge you. And when I come knocking out with him to let me in. And I also acknowledge my wife, Julie, who's here with me, because she's in this fight with me as well. And I acknowledge her as well. And also I acknowledge my team, Team Herschel, because let me tell you, we're in a fight. We're in a fight, and I tell you what, and I do know how to fight. And I want to acknowledge all of you as well, because in this world here, if you get with the wrong horse, they're going to cancel you out. So I want you to know you're with the right horse right now. We're going to win this thing. We're going to win this thing. And also, I've been telling this story for a while, and this story is going to help you realize the reason I decided to run for this Senate seat. And the story goes like this about this man that died early in life. He died early in life, and as he got to heaven, St. Peter met him at the pearly gates. And St. Peter met him at the pearly gates, and St. Peter says, "Sir, you're here a little early right now, and your name ain't on the roll. So you're the only one in history that's going to get an opportunity to decide where you want to go. I'm going to take you to both places. I'm going to take you to heaven, and I'm going to take you to hell, and you get to decide what you want to do." So he puts him in his elevator, and he takes him all the way down to hell, and the doors open up, and there's a party going on. He sees some of his friends down there. They're having a good time and stuff. Yeah, he's having a great time. And all of a sudden, St. Peter came to him and said, "You ready to go? You ready to go?" He said, "I have to leave." He said, "Yeah, you got to leave now. You got to make a decision. This is important." He puts him in his elevator to go all the way up to heaven, and he get to heaven, and there's people floating around on clouds. The weather's nice like this right here, and they're just having a good time. And after a couple of hours, St. Peter came to him and said, "Have you made your mind up? Have you made your mind up?" And the guy said, "Well, St. Pete, I hate to tell you this, I think I want to go to hell. That seemed like my type of place there. I want to go to hell." St. Peter said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah." So he puts him in his elevator, sends him all the way back down to hell, and now the doors open up. It is hot. People crying, they're screaming, they're in a miserable time. And the guy said, wait a minute. A couple of hours ago when I was here, there was a party going on. And Satan shows up and said, a couple of hours ago, I was campaigning. And the reason I'm telling you that right now, my opponent and a lot of people on the left is campaigning. I'm going to be honest, they're not telling you the truth. They're telling you this is the new normal. I'm here to tell you that's not true. You guys, I'm one of those kids that wasn't supposed to make it. One of those kids that wasn't supposed to make it because my mom said I was big bone. Meant I was fat. I used to have a speech impediment. I couldn't put a sentence together. But because of the grace of God, I got a chance to go to college. Because of the grace of God, I got a chance to win a Heisman Trophy. Yeah, hey. Because of the grace of God, I got a chance to play 15 years of professional football. Because of the grace of God, I got a chance to be on an Olympic team. But now let me tell you this, because Satan got your playbook sometime too now. So he try to confuse you. He takes you down in that elevator and lie to you. He try to lie to you. And so I had some tough times in my life. I can't believe it. Somebody's told me I had a mental problem. I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, we got to pass, but he said I had a mental problem. How can Herschel Walker have a mental problem? I'm talking about myself in third person, but I know that. So I decided to go to a hospital. I went to a hospital and I go, whoa, these people here are crazy. These people here are crazy. And then I realized that we all fall short of the glory of God. But I said, God can redeem you. He can get you back up and he can straighten you back up, because sometimes he had to break you to build you. And then I said, I got up. And then I tell you something I did was the most best thing I ever done in my life. I started going to different military bases, because I'm going to tell you something that you see politicians all the time stand up in front of you and say they're peace through street. Let me tell you something. Don't believe some of them, because what they're doing, they're making our military weak. the strongest fighting force ever assembled in our United States military. They're making them weak now because they're bringing wokeness in our military. So let me tell you this here. If we don't protect our military servicemen and women, we're going to have no strength, and I can promise you we're going to have no peace. Because they are the reason that have paid the price for us to do what we're doing. So all of a sudden, as I've been looking at what was happening, I said, I'm going to work with the military some. I started going to a base. Every 3 weeks, I started going to a base. Every 3 weeks, I was going to a base. Almost 15, 16 years I've been doing this. Been to over 400 bases all over the world, trying to move the stigma of mental health from the military. So I've been telling our young men and women, there's no shame to ask for help. I did it. Because you can be redeemed. That's a good God. And all of a sudden I was doing all that, and then something happened that changed me. You know what happened? I started watching television. Yeah. I started watching television, and I started watching people in Washington trying to separate my family. They started trying to separate my family because of the color of your skin. And I said, wait a minute. God don't care about the color of your skin. He cares about your heart. Why are we not worried about someone's heart? And I remember a man said, it's not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. Y'all know I'm running against someone that cares about the color of your skin. And I said, hey, wait a minute now. I don't like this. I don't like this. And then all of a sudden, they brought it into our schoolhouse, too. They didn't just come after us. They come after our kids. And I go, wait a minute now. I'm not a politician, but I am a warrior for God. And when I decided to run, that's what I told my mom. I said, Mom, I ain't running because I want to be a politician. I'm running because I asked someone far greater than a human being right now. We're in a spiritual battle. When we start thinking about what is a woman, and we start thinking about a man can get pregnant, and I'm like, wait a minute. But then what they were doing is taking you down in that elevator. They know a man can't get pregnant, but what they want to do is get you off track. Because they don't want you worried about this economy. They don't want you worried about crime. They don't want you worried about this border. They don't want to worry about this wokeness in our military, wokeness in our schools. They were trying to fool you by taking you down in this elevator. And then they want to tell you it's the new normal. It's not normal, because you saw it not long ago. You saw this. You saw them doing that party in Washington, having this Inflation Reduction party in Washington. And as you looking at this, the split screen is the stock market is crashing. Like, what kind of reduction are they reducing? And, you know, they're trying to change the definition of that too. Just like the same thing. I said, guys, we got to wake up. Don't get in that elevator. You don't have to get in that elevator. That's a new way. There's a new way. And let me tell you the way that is. Because I remember my offensive lineman used to tell me, Herschel, follow me. I'll take you to the promised land. So I'm going to tell all you, vote for me. I'm going to help us get to the promised land. Because the way we can get there together. And that's what I said. I said to my mom, I said, Mom, high in the world, because my life was good. I was high in the world because I lay there in my bed or get up in the morning doing so well when I see my family and anyone else hurting. High in the world because I feel good about myself. And now you know what makes me more angry than anything? The guy I'm running against think you should let prisoners out of jail. The guy I'm running against believes you don't believe in cash bails. And yet you see all the videos right now, people videotaping someone getting hurt. And we thinking that's okay. It's not okay with me. It's not okay with me. And you know where it started from? It started when they decided to defund the police. Let's be honest here. Defund the police, that was a stupid idea. Oh, wait. I'm not a politician. That's not politically correct. Stupid is a bad word. That's a dumb idea. It doesn't work. We need to support our military men and women. We need to support them. We need to support our police. You know what's so funny? I told people this the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I was leaving the campaign office, and I was headed to home, and it was starting to get dark outside, and I saw this police officer had pulled over this car. It was a white car, dark windows. And as he was getting out of the car, I got nervous because all I've been watching is on TV. You're watching people with iPhone, videotaping someone get hurt. I started getting nervous. Oh, I hope this officer don't hurt no one. I hope this officer don't hurt no one. Oh, what? And I'm thinking, maybe I need to reform the officer. And I was, wait a minute, no. Why don't we reform the citizen too? Because you know what? Everybody want to go home safe. Everybody want to go home. Everyone got a family. But we've forgotten about that. We disrespect our police officers. Well, you know what? No, we got to start making it. We got to get a loan. We got to be able to get a loan. But we can't get a loan when we have people in Washington that disrespecting our police. How in the world can you have leaders to disrespect our police? Defund the police? Stupid idea. To call them names? Stupid idea. Our young men and women in blue, they work their tails off. Right now is the toughest time in the world to be a police officer. Because of what they've started doing, demonizing our police, making heroes out of criminals. Let's get this straight. This country was built on immigrants, right? But we also were built on laws. We have laws in this country as well. And a country with no laws is chaotic. And we don't need to be in a chaotic world because we were going in the right direction. But what we've done right now is put the wrong person in Washington making the deal for us. The wrong person in Washington is making the deal for us. So I'm going to get behind our police. I will support our police, and I will continue to try to bring some unity between the police and the citizen. Because as my father said, if you don't like the rules underneath my roof, leave my house. And I think that's what we got to have guts to be able to say. And then let me go to our military. Let me go to our military for a moment. For them to try to bring wokeness into our military, I'm like, wait a minute, my pronoun is fed up. Do you know that? My pronoun is fed up. Because I can tell you right now, China, Russia, and Iran are not talking about no pronouns. They're not talking about how you can identify. And I can promise you, China not trying to charge a tank out in the desert. They're getting ready for war. And we're telling you how you identify. Right now, we got one of the best fighting forces ever assembled with our United States military. But we got these weak people in Washington. Let's bring wokeness. I want to know how you feel. Don't matter how you feel. What do we want to feel? We protect this country. Y'all heard that national anthem they were singing? That's what we are. We are Americans. And I'm sick and tired of people thinking that we shouldn't be great Americans. We shouldn't be great Americans. We shouldn't be first. We should be first. If you don't want to be first, why are you here? I'm like Ricky Bobby. If I'm not first, I don't want to be last. I don't even want to be second. I love to be first. And they're talking about, so we got to support our military service men and women. We also got to support our veterans. You know, why are we not talking about the 13 members killed in Afghanistan? You know, the reason we haven't talked about it, because it shows weakness. It shows weakness if they start talking about it, because he shouldn't have never left our allies, should have never left our American citizens, should have never left the military. That shows weakness. And now you think these other leaders weren't looking at it? They were looking at it just smiling. And right now, they're just confused. They're confused. Are we as sick as we look right now? Because we're looking like we don't know what we're doing. But let me tell you what. I can tell you what, as I've been going around the state of Georgia, people getting fed up too. Their pronouns getting fed up too. I can tell you that right now. Hey, I want to tell you, they're getting fed up. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go to the farm. And people, my wife tell me, don't talk too fast. So I talk fast because there's so much I want to get out because I told you my pronouns are fed up. I was happened to be out talking to some farmers the other day. I was talking to some farmers and something struck me very strange, because do you know that agriculture is one of the largest industries in Georgia? It's like a $70 billion business. And I was thinking about something. And sometimes I ask some silly questions and they get on Twitter. But what's wild about it, the question I asked is, what will a combine cost today? And they say a used one is about $500,000. Whoa, I said, that's a lot of money. So I asked them a question. I said, what will an electric combine cost? About $1.8 million. That's a whole lot of money. But let me tell you this. It only will run for 2 hours. And then you got to charge it. So it may not work here, because most farmers got to get their crops in on time. There's a time you got to get things in, so it won't work. So maybe we need to start listening to the people and listening to the voters rather than making decisions in Washington that don't work here. And I said, that's what we got to get back to do it. Hey, and see, I get fed up with this. And God, let me tell you this here. And people ask me why I'm running. I'm running because I said I'm sick and tired of this stuff. And let's go to crime. Guys, I'm going to tell you something that's so wild. Do you know crime has gone up over, homicide in Atlanta is over 47%. Can you believe that? Like, this is shocking. Do you know rape is up over 200%? Over 200%. Guys, you can hire someone at security guard to take you through the Lenox Mall. Don't y'all think it's time for us to put a stop to this? Well, the way we're going to have to do it, though, is November. The way we got to do it is we got to vote. Hey, don't get upset. I'm going to tell you what, this is our fault. Let's not blame no one else. This is our fault. Because I heard something the other day that was shocking to me. Do you know, before the general now, I'm going to throw these numbers out. They're probably going to check the numbers. They're going to have it on Twitter that he got the numbers wrong, but it don't matter because I'm close to it. But anyway, I heard that, do you know, during the general, that was almost 400,000 people didn't vote. And yet people get mad. It's not, don't get mad. You should like say, hey, you should have got out and vote. Hey, so it's our fault. So what we got to do, if we want to be good stewards, as not what your country can do for you, as what you can do for your country. And it's time that we stand up and start doing something for someone else. People ask me why I'm running. I'm running because this is where I'm supposed to be at. How in the world could God has blessed me so much and I don't go back and help anyone else? That's what you're supposed to do. And I said, it don't matter. Call me names if you want. Don't bother Herschel Walker. Because you can call me what you want. What bothers me is to see crime in the streets in Atlanta. Crimes in the streets in rural Georgia. What bothers me is to see a mom can't even feed her family because the grocery bill is going up. What bothers me is they don't even have baby formula. Are you serious? Baby formula? We're the greatest country in the world. You can't have baby formula. Why is that? Because the people in Washington forgot. They would sleep at the wheel. And I said, put me behind the wheel, coach. Let me drive this car for a little bit. Because the guy I'm running has been in office for almost 2 years, not quite 2 years. And you see where we're at today? What am I doing here? You see where we're at today? I said, no, now you want 6 more years. 6 more years, we can't put up with that. How in the world are we going to do that? Now I say it is time that we wake up. It's time that we get out of that elevator. It is time for us to put new leadership in Washington. And I'm saying not just Herschel Walker. I want y'all to hear this. Not just Herschel Walker. When you go to those polls, when you look down on that sheet, you see some people that believes in this country. They believes in America. They believes in the Constitution. That's who you want to vote for. You want to vote for people that believes in that. Hey, on the school board, you got to get the school board right too. Get the school board right because our kids are falling behind. Our kids are falling behind. And let me tell you what, I was shocked when I heard about wokeness in the schools. Y'all heard about it. And then if you get upset about it, you want to go do something, they want to have you arrested. Hey, you want to protect your kids and they get mad at you for it. Where is we coming to it? They ain't taking my kids. I can tell you that. I have enough time putting up with them and they want them too. But no, I want my own kids. And I want y'all to know that. You want to protect your kids, protect their minds. They're destroying innocent minds. You know what's so funny? Have you seen 2 kids, you never told them anything, white, black little kids, you let them go out there, and they go and they hug each other, they play together, they don't know anything. And then all of a sudden our government come in and start telling them, you're white, you're black, you shouldn't feel like that. No, we need to get out of that. Get away from stuff like that. Give everyone the opportunity to succeed in the United States of America. And it can happen, but you got to get the right person at the table making the deal. Because what we've done, we put the wrong person at the table that know how to make the deal. Maybe they don't know how to read. Maybe that's the problem. Because they read the Constitution, it talks about that. And that's what we need to get back to, looking at the Constitution. Because I remember reading about this now. I'm not sure if it's true, so I hope they check my facts. I was reading about this, that when they were trying to create the Constitution, remember all of them met there, they were trying to create the Constitution, they kept fighting among each other. And I think somebody came in and they said, I tell you what I want us to do. We got to get this thing done. Every day we come in, want to say a prayer? We want to say a prayer. And when they started saying that prayer, they finally got that Constitution done. That meant that God's hand may have been in that Constitution a little bit. So maybe we need to look at that Constitution a little bit more and protect that Constitution because it seems like a lot of people on the left want to try to control your life. I tell you what, I want to serve your life. Because you voted me in to serve your life, not to control you. So we need to understand that. Our elected officials got to do the right things by the voters. You got to do the right thing. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Hey, I got another thing that bothered me too. This border. This border. I heard the vice president say it was secured. I heard the vice president said it was secure. And I was confused. I was confused, but I was only confused for a little bit because I don't watch anything. Since I got into this race, the only thing I watched on TV has been Gunsmoke and Wagon Train. So I happened to flip my TV over to another channel, and I can tell you what I was watching. But that channel was almost saying what the vice president was saying, that this border was secured. So I was totally confused. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are we telling people bold-faced lies just to be partisan? This is America. Guys, we want to protect our neighbors. And I'm going to tell you this. Do y'all know fentanyl is coming from that border? This border is not secured. Do not let them tell you that it is. Right now, Halloween is right around the corner. They're dressing fentanyl up to look like candy. So this is a new war we're on right now. It's not about men on the battlefield. They got the people coming behind in the southern border coming after us. And we don't even want to have our people in Washington protect us. So citizens, let's stand up and let's protect our kids. We got to do that. And that's what I said, because I said this is the United States of America, the greatest country ever assembled before God. Right here. And do you know we're melting pot? We're melting pot. And that's what's so funny. I told people this. I'm going to tell you something you may not know about Herschel Walker. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I have white people in my family. I have black people in my family too. I know you can't believe that. I have Asian, Latino. I have a bunch of people. We're mutts. We're all mutts. Hey, I even got a Russian girl in my family. I'm serious. My nephew, who's in the military, married this beautiful, beautiful Russian girl. She's given me 3 beautiful nephews. And they're mutts too, and I love them. I love them to death. But I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm not calling your names. 23andMe has screwed us all up. Y'all are mutts too. But one thing I'm going to tell you that is good, though, you're an American mutt. And maybe we need to start getting to that, being an American rather than being anyone else, because I happen to see something else. I don't know why God keeps bringing me this. I happen to see something else. I love to talk about it. I happen to not want to watch, they had the Olympics not long ago. I was not going to watch it because I'm a Gunsmoke Wagon Train man. I was not going to watch it. But all of a sudden I was channel surfing, 2 in the morning. And it just so happened, as I'm channel surfing by this one channel, it had the Olympics and the bobsled was coming up. Y'all know I made the bobsled team on the Olympics. There's no snow in Georgia, but I made the Olympic team. And they had a young lady from Douglasville, Georgia, getting ready to go down the run. Well, that's my sister there. She was black. So I said, I got to watch this. She went down the run. She in first place. I said, wow, she going to win a medal. Because the next girl down, they only had one more to come down, just so happened to be an American. So now I know my girl got her a medal. She got a medal. And this young girl coming down the run she just became a United States citizen from Canada. She won the gold medal. My young lady from Douglasville, Georgia, won the silver. But something that was shocking, they was talking about her. They said she was an African American from the United States. There was a black woman from Canada that said she was a Canadian. She wasn't a black Canadian or African Canadian. Why was she an African American and she's just a Canadian? Maybe we need to just be Americans. Because I tell you, wait. I found something out. Then I'm going to end. I found something out. My mom just told me that my grandmother was full-blood Cherokee. So I'm Native American. I was like, oh, hello. So I'm a super mutt. I don't know what I am. But this was so funny. this is what was so funny. I said, Mom, why you never said anything to us? She said, back in my days, a lot of the Native Americans treated worse than blacks. And I said, you know what's so funny?
That's right.
I'm a good mutt, but you know what I am that I know I am as an American? Maybe we need to get out of this color thing and get into the content of people's character. Get into the content of people's character. And I want to end like this here, because I want, if some of you here that was not going to vote for me, I'm asking for your vote. Some of you who was going to vote for me, I'm telling you to tell 10 of your friends, to tell 10 of their friends, to tell the other 10 to vote for me. Because we want to win this thing and get this country back together. Because that's what we got to do. Because I know this is the greatest country in the world today. And I know, because I heard this story once, because I'm a country boy. This story, because everyone thinks something is better somewhere else. I'm telling you it's not. But I heard this story about this bull. Y'all know this bull. There was a bull out in this field. And he had 6 cows with him out there in this field with him. And 3 of them was already expecting calves. And he had grass as high as out there. So all he had to do is eat grass. That's all he had to do, because he got everything he want right here. But he kept his nose up against the fence, looking at 3 other cows up on the hillside, because he wanted to go over there. He thought something was better over there. You got everything right here. So one day he decided, I'm going to get over there. So he measured that fence up, and he said, I think I can jump this. And the day came where he got back at a certain distance, and he took off running, and he dove over that fence, and his belly got cut all up on the bottom, and he hit the other side, and he rolled over and realized he was over there, and he shook it off, was so excited. And then he ran to the top of the hill, but when he got up there, he realized they were bulls too. So let me tell you, we have to protect this right here. Let me tell you the reason why. I don't know if y'all ever heard this, but you hear that national anthem. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Francis Scott Key, a long time ago, went over to the British ships because they were going to swap prisoners. I don't know if you ever heard that. Have y'all ever heard this? They went over going to swap prisoners. And when Francis Scott Key got over to the British ships, the British captain decided to change the deal. He said, Mr. Key, we're not going to swap prisoners with you right now. But what we want you to do is lower your flag. And Mr. Key said, sir, I don't know if I can do that. And he said, the British captain said, if you don't lower that flag, we got enough weapons out here. We'll take that flag down. So you hear in our national anthem sometimes, you hear about the red glare in the air and the bombs and all that. What they're talking about is the British ships firing at our American flag. But what's weird about it, this showed the strength of America. It said when everything cleared, daylight came, that flag was still there. Well, you know why that flag stayed there? Because every time that flag got ready to hit the ground, a dead American patriot, he was in the colony at that time, laid his body against it because he believed in the freedoms and the liberties of that country. And right now, it is time for me to pay that price for everything. So you think I'm not going to fight for America? You think I'm not going to fight for Georgia? Well, they come to the wrong person. Hey, I'm a bad man. God bless. Thank you now, God.